Hi again. Thanks for joining us for our second Clean Cities meeting. This is really exciting. My name is Nicole Wargo. I am a sustainability fellow for Clark County's Department of Environment and Sustainability. Please feel free to introduce yourselves in the chat and get to know one another, and we'll get started on our presentation for today. So first up, if I could change my screen, there we go. A quick overview, we're going to recap Clean Cities, what that means, and what we're going to be doing in Clark County, our updates and progress. We have Patricia Christianson from RTC's Club Ride that will be talking for a little bit about that. And then Sam Baker from Clark County will be talking about our community plan and the model EV charger ordinance. But first up, our recap and updates. So to recap what we covered in our last meeting, and for anybody new here, Clean Cities is a national, okay, thank you. So Clean Cities is a national network through the U.S. Department of Energy, and the goal is to reduce petroleum fuels, and that is through a list of approved alternative fuels from the Department of Energy, as well as idling reduction. The purpose, of course, is to reduce dependence on foreign oil, provide cleaner air, and lower greenhouse gas emissions. There are currently 75 coalitions in the United States, but we have no representation in Nevada at the moment. So Clark County is currently working on a designation into this coalition. Why would we want to participate in Clean Cities? Well, first, there are funding opportunities that are only available to Clean Cities members through the Department of Energy. There's also the national recognition of being in this organization. It's been around this is their 30th anniversary this year, so it's been around for a long time, and we'd have that national recognition. Most importantly for me, I view this as a collaborative space for the community. This is really a forum where anyone interested in sustainable transportation can get together, and we can learn from one another and make Clark County a more sustainable place to live. Obviously, that would help happen with capacity building and providing cleaner air and fewer greenhouse gas emissions. This is a slide in particular that I really wanted to touch on again. These are the approved alternative fuels from the Department of Energy for Clean Cities. So there's 6 of them here. As I've mentioned previously, Clark County has a lot of initiatives around electricity. However, we know that's not going to work for all of our stakeholders. So the Clean Cities Coalition is what they call alternative fuel neutral. And what that means is that we all have our own opinions and beliefs about what fuels we think are best. And we all have to make choices about what we think makes the most sense for us personally or for the organizations we work for. Therefore, we must be respectful of each other's choices in alternative fuels, even if we may disagree with some of them. So as long as these 6 are being used, they count towards our goals for the coalition. The structure of our coalition has 5 parts. The first is that it's housed through Clark County. They fund the director and they run this coalition. The next step is the director. They were formerly called coordinators, but they've recently changed the name to director. They lead the coalition, they create programming, and they produce the reports that are sent to the Department of Energy. And currently I am serving as the director for this Clean Cities. Next, we have the advisory committee. We just formed this advisory committee. They help provide guidance and recommendations for our coalition. They help to create projects, and they will support the director on their reports for the DOE. There will be working groups that's coming soon. They will be determined by the advisory committee on what we think would serve our market the best. But keep an eye out for that, because that is something everyone can participate in. And then finally, we have the general stakeholders. This is anyone interested and learning about sustainable transportation. That's what this meeting is for. And we will be having quarterly meetings for our stakeholders. So this is our advisory committee, and I'd just like to thank everyone who interviewed, and unfortunately we couldn't have everyone involved, but I think we have a really great set of people on this advisory committee, and I'm just gonna say the organization's name if you don't mind, just if you're here, introducing yourself and giving your title. I know not everyone is in this meeting today, but let's start with the City of Henderson.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carla Burrell. I'm a planner too with City of Henderson in the Community Development Department, Long Range.
Thank you. City of Las Vegas.
Hi there, Marco Vallada, City of Las Vegas Community Development Department and Office of Sustainability, and I'm a planning program manager.
Thank you, Marco. City of North Las Vegas, I think he may be out today. Yeah, okay. Clark County, we recently had our fleet manager retire, so right now we are waiting to determine who will be representing Clark County. Clark County School District.
Good morning, this is Mark Campbell. I'm the Director of Sustainability, Energy, and Environmental Services, and representing Clark County School District. Thanks for having us.
Harry Reid International Airport.
Good morning, I'm Brad Tom, Sustainability Manager at LAS Harry Reid International Airport.
Las Vegas Valley Water District, I believe David is out today. Okay, Nevada Clean Energy Fund.
Hi, everyone. Kirsten Stasio. I'm CEO of the Nevada Clean Energy Fund. We're a nonprofit organization established by state statute to provide financing and technical assistance for clean energy projects.
Thank you. Nevada excuse me, I can talk, I promise. Nevada Clinicians for Climate Action.
Good morning, I'm Joanne Leovi. I'm a family doctor in town and one of the organizers of a new volunteer group of health professionals working to reduce emissions and cope with the effects of climate change, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. Nevada Department of Transportation. Is Candy in today?
Sorry, my mic was not unmuting. This is okay. Candy Barworley, and I'm the Division Chief for Sustainability and Emerging Transportation at the Nevada Department of Transportation.
Thank you. Nevada Conservation League.
Hi, I'm Christy Watson, Co-Deputy Director for Nevada Conservation League.
NV Energy.
I'm Randy Koss, NV Energy Fleet Manager.
Thank you. I think Andrew's out. Nevada Franchise Auto Dealers Association. Okay, Regional Transportation Commission.
Good morning, everyone. Deb Reardon, Regional Planning Manager at the RTC.
And Southwest Gas.
Good morning, Justin Mahana, Administrator, Corporate Fleet Management for Southwest Gas Corporation.
Thank you, everyone. Did I miss anybody? So this is our advisory committee. We will be setting up our first meeting soon, and we will be working on getting some projects for the coalition and getting our working group started. So this is the designation status for our coalition. There's 3 steps to it. Excuse me. First was the groundwork, and this involved determining the structure of our coalition, forming our stakeholder group, beginning our meetings and programming, and some other steps were involved. And I'm happy to say that this is complete. So next we are working on our apprenticeship designation for the coalition. That involves forming an advisory committee, which we've already done. We're continuing our meetings and programming, and then we will be turning in a report to the Department of Energy. So that is currently in progress. And then once we earn that apprenticeship designation, we will then go for the full coalition designation. And those steps involve forming working groups, collecting relevant data around petroleum fuels and transportation, and turning in a full, like a long report to the Department of Energy. So that's what's upcoming. These are different ways you can participate in our coalition. First, we have our quarterly stakeholder meetings like today. We'll have online programming. We had a funding webinar in November. We have a couple more webinars coming up that I'll talk about later on, but you could participate in those. We will have some in-person events. You may have seen an email from me about a Lightning Day event we had last week where you could test drive electric medium-duty vehicles. So we'll have more events like those. You can join a working group when we get those formed. And there's opportunities to sponsor, present, and host for our coalition. So let me see if you have any questions, and let me stop sharing my screen for a minute. And you could just unmute yourself and ask a question if you have it. Let me try another poll too to see what your interest is in different working groups. So these are just a few examples, and you can rank them on which ones you like more or less.
For those of you who are working on the poll, just so you know, when you rank them, you just have to drag it up and down.
So we're seeing a good bit for fueling infrastructure and for fleet support. All right, so let me just share my screen for a quick second here. So up next, we have Patricia Christianson, who's program manager for RTC's Club Ride. She's going to be talking about that for us. So take it away.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I pause you real quick? The polls weren't working.
No?
A bunch of people got errors. Yeah. Are you able to put it back up and let's try again? And I'm sorry, Pat. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
Not a problem.
Back to question. No, but I can make a new poll while Patricia gives her presentation, and we'll just relaunch a second one.
Cool. Thanks, Nicole.
Yep.
All right, good morning, everyone. Can everyone see my presentation? You should have a green screen.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. My name is Patricia Christianson. I am the program manager for Club Ride, and I am so delighted to share all the information that I have with you. And as we all know, RTC's commitment to enhancing mobility and quality of life in Southern Nevada means that they have a lot of strategies to make that happen, and Club Ride Commuter Services Program is one of those strategies that we use. Oops. I'm sorry, I seem not to be able to switch my slide. All right. So what is Club Ride? You may be thinking, okay, well, it's obviously a club. But in reality, Club Ride is a federally funded program that with the specific goals of improving air quality and reducing traffic congestion in Southern Nevada. And we achieve those goals by reducing what we call the single occupant vehicle travel. What we do is we give options on how to travel to work aside from driving alone in a vehicle. We call all these different options green modes or sustainable modes of transportation, and they include carpooling, vanpooling, riding the bus, walking, bicycling. But we also include working from home and compressed work weeks, as they are also sustainable green modes. Again, these are all options to anything from driving alone. And to build upon that, and tying back to the federal funding, Club Ride focuses mainly on the work commute trip or school commute trip. These are the trips that employees do make to and from work or to and from school every day. How does Club Ride reach this audience? We partner with Southern Nevada employers and businesses, and we have a team of outreach coordinators, an outreach team that works with each one of them to implement specific worksite programs to get their employees carpooling, riding the bus, and so on. All of Club Ride's programs and services are free to both the employers and the commuters that participate. And our program includes other benefits like carpool ride matching, guaranteed ride home to get you home from work or school in case you have an emergency. The Club Ride rewards incentives, which is what we are most known for. And we also have the Easy Rider Transit Pass discounts. Those are the benefits that we offer to all our partners. And I was so excited of talking that I forgot to show you all my little animations here. And bottom line is that we have more than 300 partners to date. And let me see if I am smart enough to, yes, I changed my slide again, accomplishment done. And I mentioned the business community. Club Ride outreach team works with the business community. We currently have more than 335 partners around Southern Nevada and over 14,000 participants from each one of these partners. Last year, in 2022, the outreach team, had more than 600 events at our partner sites to engage with members and promote the program. The team works directly with these employers to help them determine programs and campaigns that are specific for the worksite, for the partner. And we also, to help them engage the members and also have them consider changing their ways to get to and from work or school. Some of the examples that we do when we are with or some of the tools that we use to help our partners are worksite assessments, where we will go and work with partners to see that different shifts that they may have, how many employees they have, if there are any marketing campaigns that we can do together, what are the other benefits that they want to take advantage of that we can offer them. We also can have help implementations on hybrid work arrangements, and also parking strategies, as well as pre-tax benefits. Club Ride works with many types of businesses, including private and public sector, large and small businesses, nonprofits. We work with all our chambers of commerce here in Southern Nevada, in Vegas, and we, of course, connect with local governments and colleges, universities. And to give you just a few examples of partners that we have, and you may be familiar with some of them. We partner with the College of Southern Nevada, with Amazon, Arizona Charlie's, FedEx Ground, Las Vegas Water District, the Venetian, all the MGM resorts, Clark County Parks and Recreation, and even the Harry Reid International Airport. That's just to name a few of our partners. And finally, I just want to go straight into what benefits we offer. Our benefits are there to serve commuters, the local employers, and of course, the Southern Nevada community as a whole. And going back to the federal funding, one more time, our success metrics from that federal perspective are to reduce traffic congestion and improve air quality. So all the benefits that we offer help us collect the information that we can use to then turn into real life metrics. So let me throw two big numbers at you as we relate to the metrics. Club Ride members who reported their commutes in 2022 eliminated 6.5 million vehicle miles traveled. That's VMTs, a term that most of you may be familiar with. And this coincides with 65 tons or 130,000 pounds of harmful greenhouse gases. And furthermore, when we are looking at greenhouse gases, the software and the program that we use allows us to split into carbon monoxide, NOx, PM 10 and 25. So we split our information in the smaller or the different components that create the greenhouse gases. I know that the numbers are a little hard to visualize, but the bottom line, really the bottom line, is that our community benefits from fewer cars on the road, keeping Southern Nevadans moving more effectively, and at the same time, it improves the air that we breathe. Our employer partners benefit from Club Ride because they can provide low or no cost benefits to their employees. By implementing the commuter programming, partners can increase employee morale and retention, and also support the company's sustainability and climate action plans. The commuters or employees who participate save money and time on their commutes. They win prizes through our rewards, and they can experience physical and mental benefits from those healthier and greener trips. In reality, it's a win-win for all. And including these benefits, I know that I mentioned the Club Ride rewards program. That is the program or the benefit that most of our employers and employees or partners and commuters know us for. Every month, we raffle around 200 cards, gift cards from Target, Walmart, Amazon. We also raffle bus passes and bike share passes. Every time our members take a green commute, they can report their green commute through our app, online, by calling us, by texting us, by sending us an email. We even receive faxes to get all that information. And it is, of course, an honor system, but for every time that, from all the information that we collect is how we can capture how many VMTs and greenhouse gases we reduce. And for closing, please, I would like to encourage all of you to help us grow our partner base. If you see anyone that can benefit of this program, small businesses, your organizations, anyone that you think can help can benefit from everything that we offer, please let them know. You have my information. I'll post it on the chat again. I'm here to just give you more information and give you and discuss the benefits that we have. Thank you again for your time, and I am happy to answer any questions you may have.
It looks like Sam has her hand up.
It's not a question as much as a praise for Club Ride. I use it personally, and I've won 3 gift cards, and I've only worked for the county for a year and a half. And for county employees, we have a compressed work week, so that counts for one green commute, and then we're also allowed to telework another day. So just from a personal standpoint, I appreciate it, and I appreciate those benefits. And then from the county standpoint, we evaluated Club Ride, and we saw it to be is a really, really great opportunity for our employees to seek out sort of green behavior. And so we added it to our internal county operations plan, which I'll actually mention in my presentation next. But so that's one of our actions, is to promote and to continue to grow the number of employees that are participating.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the testimony.
Yeah, I haven't been as lucky with the gift cards, but I'm still trying. So. Joanne has her hand up.
Thanks, Pat, for that presentation. I was wondering, is there a minimum size of company that you partner with? And also, do you have any healthcare facilities that you're partnering with?
We really don't have a minimum size, because we also work with community partners, and sometimes it's just a team of 2 or 3. So there is no size at any end. There is no minimum or maximum. And your second question was facilities, medical facilities?
Any healthcare facilities?
Yes, we do with healthcare. We do have partners that are healthcare facilities. And it can be 2 ways, right? It can be just the doctors, nurses, and everybody that is working at that location at the healthcare facility. But if you have members that have to go there for, extended service, every time they go, they can also join Club Ride and count that trip as a green commute. Of course, if they are carpooling or if you're offering a bus to pick them up, they can consider that as a green commute. Yeah.
Carla?
Thank you, Pat, for that presentation. Do you happen to know, I think that the Club Ride program is here in Henderson too. I believe we have that program. Do you know that, or if it's a possibility to partner with a volunteer program that we're doing? We're trying to get volunteers to study the desert edge and to go out to those trails. I was thinking, just as you were presenting, that maybe we could group and take people out instead of them having their own vehicle, every person going out to the different locations. Do you have anything that you could suggest regarding that?
Yeah, we will need to put our heads together, because the way that we calculate the BMTs is for the same going back and forth each way.
Oh, got it. Okay.
If every week we need to change the commute, then that's something that we will need to probably customize a little bit for that program to work. So I'll be more than happy to, just sit down and see what we can come up with.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Thank you for your presentation, Pat. And then up next is, should I launch the poll first? All right, let me do the poll, see if we could get it to work this time.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's working better than last time. We have 13 responses, and before I think we only had like 7 or 8.
So if anyone answered other, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself and letting us know what you're thinking about, that would be a good working group for our clean cities. Please share with us. Joanne says air quality monitoring and improvement. There might have been another in the chat. Okay, no. All right, 20 responses. That's a lot better than last time. So yeah, fueling infrastructure and fleet support seem to have the most support for this. So that's good to know. And I'm personally a fan of the small cities and rurals myself. But okay, so thank you everyone. Up next is Sam Baker, who is Clark County's Sustainability Program Manager for the Department of Environment and Sustainability.
Thank you, Nicole. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. First, you're gonna see Nicole's beautiful face up there twice. Okay, are you on my presentation?
Yes.
Cool. All right, so I'm going to talk about Clark County's initiatives for sustainable transportation. First, I want to show you our sustainability tree. This is something that we developed throughout our engagement process. We have 2 things going on. I'm going to go into detail about them, but we have one plan for sustainability and climate action for our county operations, and then we have one for the community. And so what we've been doing is trying to get people to make pledges when they come to events or when they come to my office, if I'm being honest, about what they can do to be a little bit more sustainable. One of the biggest things that we can do through All in Clark County is kind of shift the culture. Here we're really focused on conservation, but sustainability is so much bigger than conservation. So really making that fit throughout the culture of our community groups and our residents. And so this actually lives in our office, and I think it actually has quite a few more pledges on it right now, but I will add that all of that comes from sustainable beans. They came from our print shop, and all of that was going to end up in the trash or recycling. So we were able to make our sustainability tree in a sustainable manner. So this is our All in Clark County planning timeline, just to give you an overview of everything that we've been doing. It started with an internal sustainability audit. We wanted to see what we were doing for our county operations that was going right and what we could do better. Just to connect to Pat's presentation on Club Ride, at that point, we were already participating in Club Ride. So we went in our sustainability audit. That was something we could be like, yeah, we can celebrate this, but we can do better and make sure all of our employees are participating. But we also looked at our buildings and the efficiency and how much renewable energy we were using, and transportation and employee commutes and fleet commutes and all of those different things to come up with a county operations plan and an implementation strategy. So that implementation strategy piece is really important because it lays out a roadmap or a blueprint for how we can get from point A to point B for a lot of the actions within our sustainability and climate action plan. So, you can put together an action and you can say, like, we're going to get this done, but sometimes you're like, well, wait, how long is it going to take? Who needs to be involved? How much money? Where can we get money? Is there grant funding available? That sort of thing. So when we're putting together both our county operations plan and our community plan, that implementation piece is really important. A lot of plans, really good plans, go out to the community or go out to an organization, and then they sit on a shelf because nobody knows where to start. So that's why we added that piece in there. When we completed the adoption of the county operations plan, we conducted a regional greenhouse gas emissions inventory, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit. We also conducted a climate vulnerability assessment, and this might be new to some of you. What that is it's looking at our climate hazards within the region and how they affect our systems and assets. And not just that, it looks at how vulnerable each of those systems and assets are, meaning how much they can adapt to extreme heat, flooding, wildfire, and of course, drought. Those two pieces, the greenhouse gas emissions inventory and the climate vulnerability assessment, are two reports that feed into our community-wide sustainability and climate action plan. And you'll see that bar at the bottom, that stakeholder engagement. Throughout the process, we've involved really as many organizations as we can through a number of groups, through community events and surveys and interviews. It was really, really an inclusive process. So all in Clark County, here are some of our sustainability initiatives and goals. So we want to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions from by 100% by 2050. So that's that net zero goal by 2050. We want to see a resilient, equitable future for the region. So resilient, most people, think about being able to bounce back, but it's also about being able to adapt to things. And we look at resiliency in three ways, really, from an economic, social, and environmental perspective. And we want actions that we can implement. I talked about our implementation strategy. So this just kind of lays it out here. We had our county operations plan that was put together to lead by example, and also for us to learn. We had never put together a sustainability and climate action plan, especially not in this way. So we knew that we had a lot of learning to do. We had those two reports, the GHG inventory and the CBA, and then the community plan, which is out for public comment currently. So I mentioned that internal sustainability audit. So we looked at where our greenhouse gas emissions were coming from, and we looked at transportation, right? So both employee commute and vehicle fleet put together, that's 31% of our greenhouse gas emissions coming from county operations. So we knew that we needed to put together quite a few actions related to transportation. So what we did based off of that sustainability audit is we broke it down into 5 key areas for our county operations plan. And you'll see today, of course, I'm going to focus on sustainable transportation. So our goals, of course, reducing emissions from county operations. We want to support county employee commuting alternatives. And then, of course, policy, programs, and infrastructure. So this is an example of one of the actions, or actually 2 of the actions. So establishing a formal vehicle purchasing and replacement policy, and then installing electric vehicle charging infrastructure. So once we adopted this plan, and then we were starting to think about the community-wide plan, we knew that something needed to happen, and they couldn't happen in a vacuum. So what we did is we put together a transportation electrification working group. And what this working group does is it guides transportation electrification both for planning and policy. The first year concluded in December. It was focused on passenger and light duty vehicles. And what we did at the same time as this transportation electrification working group is we started to do an internal audit and really looking at all of our facilities, looking at how many employees work there, how people are commuting to those facilities, what fleet was at each facility, and also what infrastructure was already available, or what construction projects were going to be put in the next few years. So many of you know that for EV infrastructure, a lot of times you have to run those electrical wires and make sure that the conduit is there and all of those other pieces. and that might involve trenching. So when we're putting together our plan and looking about how we can do this for county operations, we looked at some of those construction projects, so we wouldn't have to trench twice. We could trench once, and then it would be more cost effective to the county. And throughout the way, we shared our information and our lessons learned with the other organizations that we were partnering with. And that way they could kind of learn as we are going through. And at the same time, we can start implementing some of those actions that we had in our county operations plan. Another piece that came out of it is developing a model EV infrastructure ordinance. So the reason we wanted to do this is, we know the market is pushing towards electric vehicles. It's happening. And so we need to have the infrastructure there. And so we need to plan ahead. And that's a regional problem. But as many of you know, Clark County acts as a municipality in a lot of ways. So there's different jurisdictions that are separate. So putting together a model ordinance would be able for us to have a regional response to a regional problem. The utility also told us that they need consistent and predictable approaches for planning and delivery of electrification. The development community let us know that they perform uniform requirements across jurisdictions. So if you're putting in a multifamily complex here in Henderson, for example, and then right across the street to unincorporated Clark County, it's more expensive to the development community. It's more complicated for them if you have two separate requirements. So because this ordinance is new, we wanted to focus on EV capable, which really drives down the cost for the developers and the builders. And then future phases of the Transportation Electrification Working Group may tackle other agency fleets, medium or heavy duty vehicles, which is what it looks like we're leaning towards, or it could be transportation network companies, and that's also often rideshare. So draft model ordinance. So here we are with this draft model ordinance. Our director provided a presentation to the Board of County Commissioners just a few weeks ago, and kind of laid out what this ordinance looks like. So this was based off of feedback from all of the stakeholders, the people who were participating in the working group, and also the people who were just interested in what was going on. So based off that feedback, based off best practices from other communities, first, applicability. So based on all of that information, we decided that the ordinance will only focus on new development. Some of the general infrastructure requirements, there's EV capable, which basically means the panel plus the conduit for the parking spaces there, and then EV charging installed means that there's actually a charger there. So this varies in the infrastructure requirement or the model ordinance requirements. So it varies from 2% of installed all the way up to 25% capable. So it's basically 2 or 3% installed or 15 to 25% capable based on land use. So based on whether it's commercial or residential or multifamily. For parking spaces, that was a big concern. The parking requirements are intended to provide minimum standards. So this is, if a community wanted to be super green and install, more than 2% of EV charging, that's fine. But also the EV capable and the EV installed parking space do count towards the minimum parking space requirements. So where we are right now is after that presentation, there was direction from the Board of County Commissioners to move forward. So the intention is to get this ordinance incorporated into our Title 30 building code, and then hope that the other communities work with us to develop a similar model ordinance or similar ordinance based off the model that we provided. And I will mention here, this has not been my main project. This has been our director's main project. So if you have questions about that, go ahead and put them in the chat and I will ask her those questions, make sure I answer them properly so I can get back to you with a really informed response. So that transportation electrification working group was kind of our bridge between our county operations plan and our community plan. So now I'm going to talk about the community plan. Well, this is our greenhouse gas emissions inventory. It came out in 2021, but it's based off 2019 data. That's for a number of reasons, but the biggest thing is that that was our last normal year before COVID. We, had intended pulling from 2020, but it made more sense just to go back to 2019. So you can see transportation is a major emitter of greenhouse gases. So we have a lot of opportunities here to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. And based off our greenhouse gas emissions inventory and conversations with the public and understanding what people's priorities are, these are our 6 key areas that we've put together for the community plan. You'll see connected and equitable mobility is in there, but also smart buildings and development are in there. Those 2 are very connected and related to transportation. So here is connected and equitable mobility. I'm not going to go through the entire plan, but just wanted to give you the vision of it. So develop a safe, connected, and accessible transportation system that prioritizes low carbon mobility, public transportation, and active lifestyles. So, that active lifestyle piece is, of course, the walkability and bikeability. And here we have a number of example actions that are in our plan. So I mentioned earlier, our plan is out for public comment. So all of these actions are going to be in our plan that you all can view right now, and I'm going to give you that information, but you can provide us with feedback and comments on these. You might look at the incentivize tourism supporting fleets to drive and promote zero emission vehicles, and you might say, I love this. We want to promote the Las Vegas Valley in Clark County as a place where people can go and thrive in a sustainable manner and still get that tourism experience. Or you might say, the way things are, we think it's better. And the more people we have comment on that, the better we understand the community's views and support for things. So here is a QR code for that community plan that you can access right now. You'll see that you can actually comment on one or all the sections. So today I talked about our connected and equitable mobility section, but there's 6 key areas in there. There's also an introduction. There's also, how a piece about engagement and how we develop the plan. If you want to comment on that, you're welcome to. If you're working on a desktop, you're going to need that little slider right there, and it's a little confusing. So you'll just pull the bar all the way over so you can see, I think there's 8 different sections in there. And like I said, you can comment on one of them or all of them. So if you're only interested in transportation, then that's all you need to participate with. And I have one more little plug, unrelated to our community plan, but Clark County will be participating in the Nevada Clean Energy and Transportation Conference. This is in Reno, and it's February 2nd through 3rd. And there's at least one other person in this meeting today that will be presenting there. A lot of really good information, a lot of networking opportunities, and really, really inexpensive. So I know we are in Southern Nevada and Reno isn't super close, but wanted to provide that opportunity for you. The QR code is there if you want to look at it, look at the pricing and all of the information. And that is all I have. I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you, Sam. Does anyone have any questions about the model ordinance or the community plan?
So Carla asked, is the model ordinance available or ready to add to cities within the county to add to our development code? I believe so, but I'm going to go ahead and get with Marcy and get back to you about that.
Christy wants to know if the slides will be available after this meeting, and yes, we will post them this week on our Clean Cities website, or if you want to email me and remind me, I can send them to you directly. Is there any other questions for Sam? No? Okay, I'm just gonna wrap up here with a couple more slides. Can you see my slide here?
Yes.
Great, thank you. So we have upcoming 2 webinars already planned. On February 23rd, we have a health webinar. Dr. Joanne Leovi, who you've met in this meeting today, will be presenting, and hopefully we'll get a couple other speakers lined up for that as well. March 23rd, we have an idling webinar. We have Justin from Southwest Gas, Norma from USA Fleet Solutions, and Ron from Go Idle Free. We're going to be covering different technologies as well as behavioral changes. So there's different ways that you can reduce idling for yourself or for your fleet. So you can learn more about that at that webinar. And in April, we are hoping to have an in-person meeting where everybody can get together, network, and say hello and learn more from each other. So keep an eye out for my emails on these events. And then to just wrap up everything, a reminder that our goal is to reduce petroleum fuels. That's mostly through transportation, but that could be through other avenues as well, like lawn equipment, that sort of thing. This is a space for our community on sustainable transportation and alternative fuels. So please get to know each other, learn from each other. You are why this forum can exist and be meaningful. So please always feel free to share your thoughts in the chat or reach out to me if you ever have any questions. There are many ways to participate, and hopefully we'll have some working groups available for everyone soon. We are currently in progress for our apprenticeship designation. Please submit comments for the community action plan that Sam was just talking about, and join us next month to learn about the health impacts of petroleum fuels. So I just want to say thank you for joining us today. This QR code takes you to our Clean Cities website, and always feel free to email me at this address. And let's see if I can unshare my screen here if anyone has any further questions. No? Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.